So again, my name is Neil Pearson. I'm a physiotherapist and a yoga therapist and also a clinical social professor at the University of British Columbia. And it's my pleasure to be part of this Pain Canada endeavor and to also have Jenny and Desmond, who you'll see a little bit more in a moment. As we go through this session, I'll be seated and you'll see me doing things from a seated position. Desmond's going to be doing it from a standing position, and Jenny's going to be doing most of it from a laying down position. So you have the choice of whichever of these positions that you want to be in. As we go through the practice, if there's anything that doesn't feel right, please pause. If you're doing something and it feels like it's time to stop before I've said stop, then again, just pause what you're doing, come to a comfortable place, and I'll of course remind you that as we go through this. The chat is off with this. If you have any questions or anything you want to share, feed loop is the way to go. So use that. And we have some sponsors that make this all possible. I think they're going to pop up on your screen here. There we go. So thank you to all these sponsors for helping us with the conference and with this session. They're the people that make all this happen. Of course, there's all the people back behind all this stuff that make it happen too. So to start with, either come to a comfortable seated position. If you're in a chair, it's often better to do this where your back isn't against the back of the chair, where you're sitting up tall. Yet if you need that support today, please get that support. If you want to lie down, you can see that Jenny's laying down, got some support underneath your neck today. You can have your legs bent as she has them now, or straight, or you could put a pillow or something underneath your knees if that would feel better too. And there you see Desmond standing. If you need to shift around while you're standing, if you need something for balance, be in a place where you can put your hand on a wall or a chair or something that's not going to be fun, or your handy bike against the wall. Awesome. So wherever you are, what I'd like you to do is to bring your attention to the sensations of your breath. Notice the feeling of your breath as you breathe in, the feelings of your breath as you breathe out. Do your best to take all of your attention right there on your breath, all the way through the inhale and all the way through the exhale. And as you're doing this, if you notice any place in your body calling out that wants to be shifted around, please go ahead and do that. You don't need to stay still. And maybe you can make your breath a little bit longer. Maybe you can make your breath a little bit smoother. If you're feeling like there's a lot of effort to your breath, see if you can decrease the effort. While your attention is on your breath, create a sensation that your ears and eardrums are sinking in towards each other or in towards the center of your head. So you can feel your breath and you can feel a sensation of your ears and eardrums sinking in towards each other. Softening there. Then create a sensation that your soft palate is releasing up towards the center of your forehead. So the soft palate, that soft place at the back of the roof of your mouth. Create a sensation that it's releasing up towards the middle of your forehead. So you can feel your breath, and you can feel that sensation of your ears and eardrums sinking in, and your soft palate releasing up. Then create a sensation that the base of your tongue is releasing down towards your heart. You're feeling your breath, and you're feeling your ears and eardrums releasing in, soft palate releasing up, base of your tongue releasing down towards your heart. And as you do this, you may notice that there's more space or a sensation of more space at the back of your throat. So as you breathe in, you may be able to feel the breath moving through the back of your throat now. And as you breathe out, you may be able to feel the breath moving at the back of your throat. And sometimes you can even feel the breath swirling back there in that new space. Take your attention to the sound of your breath. See if you can hear the air swirling back there, almost like a gentle ocean wave coming up on the shore. The sound of wind and gentle wind and trees and leaves. Focus your attention there on that sound. As much as you are feeling your eardrums sinking in, your soft palate releasing up, and the base of your tongue releasing down, you're feeling that sensation of the air, hearing the sensations of the air swirling at the back of your throat. Focus your attention there on the sound for a few breaths. And when you finish your next exhale, just let that go. If you feel a need to shift around at all, go ahead and do it. Your shoulders happen to get tense while from staying still, release them, or your hips. Great. If you're seated or standing, create a bit of length in your spine. So make your neck a little bit longer, your spine a bit longer, and you might be able to get that same sensation while you're laying down. Now, if you're seated or standing, take your right ear down towards your right shoulder, and then bring your head back up to the center, and then take it to the other side. Now, if you're laying down with this, you may find it easier to turn and look over your right shoulder, then turn and look back to the center, and then turn to look to the other side. So as you're doing this movement, find that just right stretch. Maybe a small movement feels best today, or maybe a bigger movement and bigger stretch would feel best. And you might notice that as you do this, your breath starts to sync up with the movement. That's fine. And if you want to breathe with that sort of gentle ocean breath that we started with, you can come back to that while you do this as well. And remember, you can pause anytime you want. If you feel like it's enough stretch, enough of that movement, go ahead and pause. And just hang on and we'll catch up. Now, when your head comes back to the center next time, just pause again. Take your awareness to the muscles of your neck, the muscles you've just been stretching or using. Create a sensation like you're breathing into those muscles. And as you breathe out, you're releasing tension there. Whatever muscles you just used in your neck. Great. From whatever position you are now, bend your elbows so your elbows are about a 90-degree bend. And then roll your arms out to the side, your hands and your arms out to the side, and then roll your hands back in towards the center. And just when you take your arms out, you probably find a spot where you get a stretch, or maybe you get discomfort or pain. Just go to that edge. And now you've got this movement, come back to that gentle ocean breath, that feeling of the air swirling at the back of your throat. As you inhale, as you exhale. And find the right pace of the movement that matches with your breath. And with any of these movements, if you get to the end and you feel like, I want to stay here for a breath or two, you can do that. Or you can keep on moving back and forth. Sometimes we feel benefit from repeated movements. Sometimes the benefit is from sort of staying with the stretch and trying to breathe into the muscles that are working. And as you finish your next exhale, just let your arms rest for a moment. Give your shoulders a little bit of a shift around if that feels good. Then let your hands and arms rest. And once again, come back to that gentle ocean breath. Notice the muscles that you were just using or stretching around your shoulder, and create a sensation that you're breathing into those muscles. And when you breathe out, create the sensation that you're letting go of those muscles. Great. Then take your attention to your wrists. Now I'm going to put my hands up so you can see them. But the movement you're going to do is to just turn your wrist to the outside and then turn your wrist to the inside. Just that movement back and forth. I'm just going to do it with my hands down to my lap. So you're just turning your wrists out to the side and then drawing them back into the center. Find the right amount of movement here. If there's any edge, just sort of go to the edge. Keep your breath calm. Keep your body calm. Make sure the movement feels like it's safe. And maybe you can come back to that same gentle ocean breath, feeling the air swirling at the back of your throat on the inhale and the exhale. And then when you finish your next exhale, just let your wrists and hands relax again. Create a sensation that you're breathing into whatever muscles you were stretching or moving there. Create a sensation that you're breathing out tension on your exhale. Now the next movement, if you're seated or standing, will be a side bend. So just while you're seated, you can leave your hands resting on your lap and just bend down towards the side or reach down with your arm and come on back up. If you were in a laying down position, it's often hard to do a side bend. So what you could do is a twist instead. So if you're okay with your knees bent, you can let your knees roll down to one side and come on back up towards the center. Whichever move you're doing, try to release tension as you go. So come down till you feel like there's a stretch. Breathe in, come on back up to the center. Breathe out, come on down. Now, if you want more stretch today, you can take your arm up. So Desmond is showing you can take your arm up and bend to the side, and that'll give you even more of a side bend stretch. If you try that and it doesn't feel like it's the right thing to do, you can let your arms rest to the side. Find the right movement for you. Trying to get a bit of a rhythmic movement going here and getting that gentle ocean swirling air at the back of your throat. Remember, it's not about seeing how far you can crash through discomfort or tension or pain. A lot of times it's about finding a way to go up to the edge, calm your breath, calm your muscle tension, calm your mind. Great. And when you come on back up to the center again, just pause for a moment. Take your attention again to those parts of your body that were just being stretched, to the muscles that were being used. Come back to the breath. Create a sensation that you're breathing into those muscles. Create a sensation on the exhale that you're letting go there. Now the next one's going to be a little bit different for each position. So if you're laying down, what I want you to do is to push down with your left foot and sort of shift the weight over onto your left hip. And then shift back and push down with the right foot, bring the weight to your right hip. If you're standing, shift the weight over top of one leg, almost like you're going to lift the other foot off the ground for a moment, and then shift it over to the other side. And if you're seated, you'll be shifting the weight onto one hip, almost like the other hip is going to come off the chair a bit. So once you have the movement, come back to that breath. Feel the movement around your hip, the changes in your low back, mid back. Great. And when you come on back to the center next time, just pause for a moment. Take your attention to the muscles that were being used, parts of your body that are being moved around. Create a sensation that you're breathing right into those areas. As you breathe out, create a sensation that you're letting go. Now for the next movement, what we're going to do is get you to lift your right knee up. So if you're standing, use balance if you need to. If you're laying down, just lift your knee up so your foot comes off the floor and then put it back down again. And then lift the same knee again, but this time lift it out towards the side a little bit. And then back down. Great. So then go over to the other leg, lift the knees straight up to the front. And back down. And lift the same knee again, but this time a little bit to the side when you do it. And then back down. Great. Just continue going back and forth with the legs. Lifting to the center. And then lifting out to the side. So your pace. Sometimes when you do something like this with more effort, you can feel your breath getting tight or holding your breath. So if you notice that happening, see if you can get your breath to keep on flowing. As you lift your knee up, as you put your leg back down again. Remember, you can pause before we say stop. The body is saying that's enough. If you can stay with that gentle swirling of your breath, the back of your throat, through the inhale and through the exhale, do that. Great. So when you finish the movements on the one side, next time, again, just pause. Come back to that breath. Create a sensation that you're breathing into the parts of your body you were just using, the muscles, the joints. As you exhale, create a sensation that you're releasing tension there. Now, if you're laying down and it's okay to have your legs straight out, go ahead and do that. If you're seated or laying down, the movement now will be to turn both feet so the soles of the feet turn towards each other, and then to turn your feet and ankles so your soles of your feet head towards the other side. Now, if you're standing, what I would suggest you do is use something for support and just lift the one leg up so you can turn the one ankle in and then back out again. And just either do one side a number of times, or maybe do one side, do one leg in and out, then go to the other leg in and out, whichever you prefer. Great. So as you finish your next exhale, just let your body rest again. Take your awareness to the muscles that have been using, the joints that we're moving. Create a sensation that you're breathing into that spot. And as you exhale, create a sensation that you're letting go there. Bring your fingers or curl your fingers into your palms. And curl your toes a little bit. And then move your fingers and your toes the other way. So spread your fingers back out, spread your toes a little bit. And then curl your fingers and curl your toes. And then extend your fingers and extend your toes. Just moving back and forth with that movement. And even with small movements like this, make sure it feels like it's the okay thing to do. Continue to check in with how your body's doing and how your breath is doing. Great. When you finish your next exhale, let your fingers and toes rest. Create a sensation that you are breathing into your fingers and your toes. A sensation that you're letting go of tension as you exhale. And now if you're laying down, if it's okay to come to a seated position, then come on up to a seated position. If you're standing and you feel like you need to shift around, again, of course, do that. Same if you're seated, if you want to shift. Just want to come to a tall spine position now. I'm going to ask you to change up the way you're breathing a little bit. So instead of doing that, feeling the swirling of the air, that gentle ocean breath, I'm just going to come back to a breath. If you're here a couple of days ago, we did this breath where you expanded your belly and ribs and chest all at the same time. And you drew in your belly, ribs, and chest at the same time when you breathed out. So give that a try. As you breathe in, expand your belly and your ribs and your chest all at the same time. And as you breathe in, out, gently draw in your all three at the same time, your chest and your ribs and your belly. So this breath is intended to create a little bit more energy. So you're purposefully expanding a bit more than you might do at easy restful breathing. You're engaging the muscles purposefully to expand as you breathe in, engaging the muscles purposefully to draw back in as you breathe out. Now, next time you breathe in, take your arms up to the side, about shoulder height. And as you breathe back down, come on, just let your arms come back down again. So use that same breath, that same expanding belly, ribs, chest together as your arms come up. And as you breathe out, drawing back in all three together. Now, if you're okay with taking your arms up higher, go ahead and take your arms up higher when you do this. Find the right height of lifting your arms. Maybe it's just a little bit today. Maybe it's a lot. Sort of go to that spot that feels like that's an okay amount of movement. If you're okay with taking your arms straight up towards the sky, take them straight up towards the sky. If that doesn't feel right today, you can imagine taking your arms up even higher, not forcing it, imagining coming up with more ease. And then next time your arms come up, find a spot where you feel you can stay for a few breaths. Whether it's below 90 degrees, 90 degrees, or above, you choose whichever spot. Once you get there, reach. Reach with your arms, your forearms, your wrists, your hands, your fingers, your spine, and make your breath a little bit longer too. So lengthen your breath and lengthen spine, neck, arms, forearms, hands, and fingers. And then let your arms come on back down to the side. If you're seated in your chair, take your feet a little bit further away from each other and your knees a bit further away. If you're seated cross-legged on the floor, just stay right there. If you're standing, take your feet a little bit wider than shoulder distance apart. Take your arms back out. You can have your palms facing down towards the floor. Let your shoulders release down away from your neck. Breathe in, get length of your spine and length of your arms again. And as you breathe out, bring your right hand down and your left hand up so you come into a side. And then come on back to the center. So breathe out, come down to the side. Breathe in, come on back to the center. Now, if you're doing this and you like to side bend, but your arms are getting tired, you can just let your arms down as you come to the side. And you can let them rest and then join back in, or if it feels okay, just stay right there. So while you're doing this, keep on creating that sensation of expanding your belly and ribs and chest as you breathe in, and reaching with your spine and your arms even while you bend to the side. A little bit like you're pumping some energy. You're using your breath to create some energy. You're doing the side bend. So push the energy through your torso. And after you come back to the center next time, just let your arms come on back down for a moment. Give them a little bit of a shake around. Maybe move your neck if that feels good, or your shoulder blades. And then if you're okay with it, we're going to go back to that same spot again with your arms straight out, your palms down, shoulders away from your ears, spine is reaching tall, arms are reaching. Come back to that breath. Now, if you're standing, just soften your knees a little bit. So just bend your knees just a little bit, because as you breathe out next time, you're going to come into a twist. So turn your ribs and your shoulders and your arms and your neck, and then come on back to the center. And then go around the other side. And again, if your arms are getting tired from being up there, let them come on down. Having your knees bent while you're standing is just to take the stress off your knees as you come into the twist, help you move a little bit further. So if you can, you're still breathing in, expanding your belly, ribs, and chest together while you draw yourself back to the center. And then you're drawing back in as you come to the side. And when you come on back to the center again, just let your arms come back down. Again, give your shoulders a bit of a shift around, your neck, your arms, your legs. And from here, what I'd like everyone to do, if you can come back down to laying down on your back, go ahead and do that. If coming back to a chair is the best place to go, then do that. So just come on back down onto your back, or sit in a chair, supported by the chair. So once you get to a place where you feel there's comfort, take a few breaths that feel a little bit deeper. Like you're expanding your lungs and getting a little bit more air in there. And when you finish those few breaths, let your breath go. Let your breath do what it's going to do. Create a sensation that your body is releasing back down towards the floor just a bit, releasing a little bit more tension. Each time you breathe out, like your shoulders and torso and legs are sinking down just a bit. And even as you feel your body sinking down, create a sensation of lightness through your body. A sensation of lightness in your arms, a sensation of lightness in your legs, lightness in your head and neck, and a sensation of lightness in your torso. Let your breath rest. Let your body rest. And let your mind follow these words. May I accept this pain without it making me broken or wrong. May I remember that I'm more than this body and more than these thoughts. May all those who have helped me be safe, be happy, be peaceful. May all beings everywhere be safe, happy, and peaceful. May my love for myself and others flow without limits. May the power of loving kindness support me and support my family. May I accept anger, grief, fear, and worry, knowing that my heart is not limited by them. May I find more peace, even amidst a sense of danger. May I live and love and in ease. So we're ending the time here. If you have the ability to stay and rest a little bit longer, go ahead and do it. Otherwise, slowly start to move your body again, fingers and toes and arms and legs. Bring some more energy back to your breath. And take your time coming up as you do it. Maybe you feel best to stretch, pull yourself into a ball before you do it. So thanks for joining us today.